Alright, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to get ahead of at least 95% of the people. So, by the end of this video, here's my guarantee. You will be ahead of 95% of the people on the planet. So, you'll be ahead of 95% of the people on the planet. And you'll also learn what compounding efforts is. Okay, so let's get started. So before I start this, I want to thank this book, The Slight Edge. This is really the current book I'm reading, and I'm not all the way through it yet. I'm like halfway done, but this book really helped me reshape my whole paradigm on what it meant to get ahead. And like be like even before I started reading this book, I tried to get ahead as much as I could. But again, I never thought of it this way. So hopefully, me showing you this way will help you make decisions or, change your lifestyle for the better so that you keep improving. So our ultimate goal is this. I suck at drawing straight lines, but you learn and you live. Okay. So our ultimate goal is to, right now you're probably here, right? You're probably right there. Or like, you're just living, but we want to do this. We're going to go up exponentially, right? So you want to go up that way. And right now, you're probably like around here somewhere, probably, right? You're probably around here somewhere. So like, how do we get, past that little barrier right here, okay, this little barrier right here, like how do you get past that, right? So that's going to be what this whole video is going to be about. So let's get to it. So what we're going to do is simple. We're going to simply observe the slight edge, and we're going to see what principles it lies out. So number one thing you want to keep in mind on how to get ahead, okay? Because you want to be ahead of everyone else. Let's be honest, like it's not that hard. Um, it's not that hard because of the second thing here, compounding effort. So let's imagine you have two people. Like I always use this analogy or this like example, but it's a really good example. So let's say you have two people. You have Bob, you have Joe. Let's say Bob and Joe are equally matched, okay? They're equally matched. They went to the same school, same age, have the same amount of money in their bank account. They both turn 20. Okay, so both of them are now 20, okay? So they're both 20. He's 20, he's 20, okay? And Bob here, he's like, okay, I just turned 20. I want to get a job. So what he does is he gets a job at McDonald's. And then Joe here is like, oh, I need a job. So I'm also going to get a job at McDonald's. So they both have a job at McDonald's. They're both 20, understandable if you're young, you work at McDonald's, like, okay. Like, no disrespect there. Okay, cool. Now they're still evenly matched. Okay. Then let's say a month into working at McDonald's, Bob is like, "Oh, this job sucks, man. This job is like killing me. Sucks. I'll just like scroll on social media. He just loves Instagram. So he just scrolls on there, right? He just scrolls on Instagram, and yeah, so he just scrolls on there, right? And then we have Joe, right? Here's Joe. He also loves Instagram. And what Joe does, instead of scrolling, he produces he produces content on Instagram. So a year into working McDonald's, um, Bob here was just, he just went to work, he went on Instagram, he just kept on scrolling for an entire year. Joe, he he was working at McDonald's. He was scrolling on Instagram, but instead of just scrolling, he also produced content that people love. So at the end of the year, Bob has 0 followers on Instagram. Joe has 20,000 followers on Instagram. Now, what is that like? Okay, Joe has like more credibility. Okay, cool. Like, what does that mean? It's just followers. It's not making him any money or whatever. Now, don't you think, since Joe has stayed consistent throughout that whole year, don't you think that he knows he has like a better grasp on consistency? Now, he also, now both of them also go to the gym. Now, who do you think is more consistent? Probably Joe, right? Because if he can stay on posting on Instagram for a year, he's trying to gain an audience. Like he's probably also more consistent in the gym. And then once with his 20K followers on Instagram, he launches a product that basically, he launches a product that was worth, um, let's say $100, okay, $100, and around, let's say 50 people buy it. Let's say 45 people bought it out of his 20,000 followers, which is, like probably more people bought it, but we'll just say 45. Now, his thing is also like a recurring revenue, so it's per month, right? It's per month. So how much is that? Well, that is equal to 4,500 per month. That is whatever he makes now at McDonald's is probably minimum wage. Like like he works at McDonald's, he probably makes minimum wage, let's say $10 an hour. Now, $10 an hour times, let me see, $10 an hour times 40 hours, that's around $400. Yeah, so $400 a week, and then times that by four, so that's around 1,600. We'll take away taxes. Actually, we'll just leave it how it is, like no taxes, okay? Like, okay, let's say 1,600. So at McDonald's, he's making $1,600 a month. Here, he's making $4,500 a month. And don't you think that this is just like per month? He can just keep scaling this up and up and up because of the fact that, as the months come in, like more and more people will go down, like more and more people will join. So, like, he can probably put like 90 people into this and this will double. That's just simply how it is. It's just staying ahead of people. It's just doing the small thing, right? Doing the small thing, the thing that just doesn't seem like it's gonna do anything. Like on his first day, do you think he got like 20K followers? No. On his first day, he probably had like what? Like zero followers. On his second day, he probably gained like a random follower, right? So one follower on the second day. On the third day, he probably had like two followers. Fourth day, he probably had five. Fifth day, probably seven or eight. Then by the end of the week, within 7 days, you probably had around 20, right? So that's just the curve of exponential growth. So the lesson I want to really just give you guys, the bottom line here is that whatever you're doing in life, make sure that you do something, like even if it's small, as like posting, valuable creative content on Instagram, or like another thing is like going to the gym. Okay, like today you can skip the gym, like one day is not going to hurt you, right? So you skip the gym. That's when, slowly over time it keeps adding up and up and up and up and up and up, and like compounding interest. Compounding interest is a thing. Now, compounding effort is how much effort you're putting into yourself and the return you get. So, do you really think that some dude who skips like the gym like every other day is gonna get as jacked or look as good as the dude who goes to the gym like consistently 5 or 6 times a week, every single week for 52 weeks in a year? Like the odds of that happening are, incredible. So, The Slight Edge, again, it's a really good book if you want to read it. But it basically teaches you like small compounding efforts of daily choices and actions that we take really add up over the whole horizon. Because this axis is time, right? It's time, and that's how much success you will have. So that's where this again, like this whole line goes exponential. And going back to the Bob and Joe example, like Joe can just quit McDonald's, focus on this full time, and there you go. He basically just outworked Bob for an entire year with just doing literally the bare minimum. He was just posting like a few, like 2 to 3 pieces of content on Instagram a year. Oh, sorry, a day. Like anyone can do that. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's not really hard, but it's easy to do it, and it's also easy not to do it. So the choice is yours. But to get ahead of 95% of the people on the planet, is just do the bare minimum every single day, and you'll get there. So by the bare minimum, I mean workouts. So first of all, workouts. You want to eat healthier. Like for example, instead of choosing like a burger, choose broccoli. Like it, it's an easy choice. Like which one is healthier? Okay, broccoli. Choose that. Okay, like you're delaying that gratification. That's when you start to really build up everything. Um, and then also the fact that if you go to the gym, like choose to go to the gym. Like even if you don't feel like it, go. So I'm gonna end it right here. Uh, Again, to get ahead of people, you have to do the small actions that add up over a long period of time, and eventually you'll see success. So that's gonna end it right here. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this, and you have a fantastic day.